Welcome back to the AB podcast. I'm your host, Ajit. We got Big Boy Bravs over there. We got Nugent with us. And some breaking news, guys. Demarcus Cousins has parted ways with the Houston Rockets. It was a mutual agreement. One thing I didn't understand about that was like the fact that they guaranteed his money and then they decided to.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
See, I think from a business perspective, I think like they want people to take him, and Houston was willing to like pay the difference from what I understood, right? Because they said that they're gonna pay what 2.3 million or something. I forget what the numbers were, but they said that they're willing to cover that cost, right? So my understanding from a business perspective, I feel like they're like, come take my asset, and we're willing to cover the cost, you know? Which I don't know. I think it's kind of stupid, but also I don't know.
You think they just felt bad for him and they were just trying to compensate?
Yeah, it's like thank you for you've been great this season. Here's a compensation, but like we have to part ways. But I don't know. Like Christian Wood is doing well for them, right?
That's exactly what it is. They basically said that Christian Wood is their center for the future. He's obviously a lot younger.
Yeah.
They basically just used Demarcus Cousins for the time being when he was out with the ankle injury.
Yeah.
And they basically said he's not going to get minutes moving forward, so find another team that better suits his game. But I want to transition over to, why we're here. The Toronto Raptors, their biggest issue right now is the center position, and Aron Baynes, for the most part, defensively has done a decent job. It's just the fact that he can't finish around the rim, and I feel like Demarcus Cousins is something or somebody we could use at that spot for a few minutes here and there. A lot of people are complaining about it because in the offseason we did have an opportunity to bring him in, and we chose to go with Aron Baynes. But we didn't think that the hole that Ibaka and Gasol left was going to have this much of an impact at that position. So my question to both of you is, do you think it's worth trying to go after Demarcus Cousins at that 5 position just to take him some minutes here and there away from that small ball lineup when necessary?
I'll go first. I think we agreed in the last video that Demarcus Cousins was one of our top picks for bigs that we want to go after. He's like you said, like I think he's like, yeah, he has all the attitude and stuff that he has a negative persona that comes with his name. But that being said, like Toronto turned around Kyle Lowry's career. I feel like they'll do the same for Demarcus. But also not just that. I feel like he will fit our system really well. In a sense that not our system, but I think he'll fit the need. Right now we need a big that can get us rebounds, a big that can facilitate, and then finish up on the glass. Right, like you saw that last play with Aron Baynes against the Timberwolves. He missed an easy rebound that could have caused less headaches. You know what I mean? Or sorry, less stress. But yeah, if we can get Demarcus, I'll be happy.
What about you, Nugent?
I'm all in for this. I mean, like I said it from the last video, Demarcus is one of my players that I want as our center. But here's the thing. There's probably like 2 reasons why I don't think it might not happen. It's one, because we had an opportunity of getting him in free agency and we never actually got him. Like I saw something on Bleacher Report from, I think, of Josh Williamberg. He said like the Raptors were like, if they really wanted him, they could have went after him in free agency, but instead they went for Baynes and Len, right? Yeah. So like I don't know if that will change now, but I hope it does, because I would want to have Cousins over Baynes, honestly, at this point.
For sure.
I actually wanted to say something about that point though before you continued.
Yeah.
At that point, it was before the season started, so we didn't know how much of an impact.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Have.
Yeah.
We didn't think it was gonna be this bad at that point.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So I think that could change Masai's thing, just like a short time solution for a problem we could deal with maybe later on with a different solution. But right now, just to kind of fill that hole on the offensive end, because actually I'll explain that after you finish talking.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's for sure. Like it could change, but the second reason is also like he gets to choose where he wants to go, right?
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
that's the one I hate. And we're not really that big of a contender right now, but I would love to have him. Like honestly, like he would be a great like if he's back to the way he was before, bro, he'd be a great like option for us down low.
Um,
We
the,
will,
the,
Ajit, before you go, this shout out to Demarcus Cousin. If you're hearing our podcast, listen up. Toronto is the spot. We need you. Look, we're up on rising. The last 30 games, we're at 12-7 or something. I forget what our record was, but hey,
yeah,
we started 2-8 and look where we are now, right? So yo, we're rising. We're rising stars. So if you hear this, this is my pitch to you. Come to Toronto. Let's go.
a lot of the Eastern Conference teams, though, like if you look at the records, they're not that much better than us. Like
100%, yo.
we had a really bad start, and we're already back in the middle of the pack in terms of for the
Yeah.
playoff season, right? Um, Demarcus Cousins obviously isn't the player that he was once before. He's lost a lot of money over.
Yeah.
He's lost a lot of money over the years. I mean, he was a prime all-star, considered one of the best bigs, I think,
Yeah.
2016, 2017. And then unfortunately, he had the Achilles injury when he's with the Pelicans. And then he went down and hasn't been the same player since. But that Pelicans team with Rondo, Drew Holiday, Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins,
That was nasty.
That was nasty.
when the Warriors were at their peak, that team could have put up some serious trouble for them because of the fact that they had two bigs that Draymond Green just cannot stop.
Sure.
And in Sacramento, to your other point, I just want to say something before you go. He was detrimental to that team in terms of the locker room. He was very toxic and stuff. But I feel like as the years have gone on, it's just his persona has been like that the whole time. But I think he's gotten better over the years, and I don't think he's as toxic as he used to be. And I feel like our locker room, with our organization, the way we mold our players, if he was to come to our team, I don't think there would be an issue. In that,
Isn't he great friends with Larry too?
yeah.
Yeah.
But then he was friends with John Wall, and they try to
Yeah,
play.
yeah,
They
I
didn't
know,
even get
yeah.
20 games together. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, go ahead, Praveen. You had something to say?
No, I was just gonna say like we don't need that all-star Demarcus Cousins. We don't need that all-star Demarcus Cousins. We just need Demarcus Cousins who can get rebounds, who can facilitate and like bring his experience and knowledge, right? That's what we need, right? We need someone to like help us with our gaps that we have right now, but also maybe he can maybe mold Chris Boucher to be more fierce, right? Like I don't know if you noticed this, but last game Freddie told Chris Boucher, "Be big, right? Be big." Like I don't know if you noticed it, but he like
No,
every time he missed a rebound, and it was like not a turnover, but like it was still possession of the other of Minnie.
Mhm.
Freddie went up to Chris Boucher and was like, "Yo, be big, right?" So I feel like when you bring in DeMarcus Cousins, not only he'll bring the missing pieces that we need, for example, rebounding and a big presence in the paint, but he will be I think he'll be like a mentor to Chris Boucher and being.
My man Boucher is like 110 pounds soaking wet though, so I don't know how he's. I mean, he might be lanky, but that's about it. DeMarcus Cousins obviously isn't the defender he used to be, but he was never really that much of a defender to begin with. Like he was a defensive liability before, but he definitely isn't anywhere close to. I mean, he's even worse now because of his injuries. Because he had the Achilles injury, and then he went to, and he tried to come back. He blew out his quad, and then he got an ACL injury in the summer. Like literally back to back.
That's another thing. His injury. That's another risk, right? That's a huge.
But that's what I'm saying. Like if he's sorry, Nugent, I'm gonna just say one.
Yeah.
Basically, like to your point earlier about him choosing our team, if he's trying to ring chase Brooklyn Clippers, that's the option that he has, right? Or even the Lakers maybe. But I don't think the Lakers have Marc Gasol, so it's not necessary for them anymore, right? So Clippers in Brooklyn, two teams he could go to easily. But if he's trying to get paid or try to resurrect his career, I think the best spot to come to is Toronto for sure.
100%.
And whatever DeMarcus Cousins isn't is what Aron Baynes is, and whatever Aron Baynes isn't is what DeMarcus Cousins is.
Yeah.
They both kind of like balance each other out. If you could fuse both of them into one player, that would be the ultimate player we need.
100%.
But I mean, all in all, bro, like I would love to have DeMarcus Cousins just because, like you said, he's averaging like 12.7 rebounds, and we don't even need him to play that much. It's like the crazy thing, the hot topic right now is the fact that we're 3-0 since we did the small ball lineup, and people don't want to screw that up by bringing DeMarcus Cousins in. But even if we did bring him in, we're not asking him for like 25, 30 minutes. We just need him to pick certain spots in the game to put him in, just to be that guy as a threat on the offensive end when necessary.
Yo, legit,
Yeah.
all you need to do is like take the Aron Baynes minutes, right? So you know how Aron Baynes is now coming off the bench and he's like getting like those. I don't want to say those trash minutes, but basically like those like last 3 minutes or whatever they are. We can get Demarcus Cousins to do that, right? I think that would be a better person
Aaron,
to do that than Aron Baynes.
Aaron Baines only comes in when there's a big that Boucher can't deal with, and that's mainly
100%.
and that's what we could use Demarcus for. Depending on if we need offense or defense, we switch him around, right?
I feel like we have the best development team.
Yeah.
So like he should look into that.
We have the
Like
best
he
medical team. We have the best
yeah,
medical team.
yeah.
Look
So
what they
we
did in
can
Hawaii. Yeah,
yeah. Like he can literally rejuvenate his career in Toronto. I mean on the Raptors.
I
Yeah.
So
think.
like
Sorry. I'm just
Sorry, go ahead.
yes, two of you guys agree with me. Like it's the best team to it's the best fit for him, like
Mhm.
personally, like to get the contract he wants, like rather than just ring chasing, because he's not gonna have a career just by just ring chasing. Like look what happened the last 2 years when he tried to when with Golden State and the Lakers and he barely played.
Yeah,
He just got a ring.
he did win a game
He
for
did
them
yeah,
in
he did, yeah.
Game Five
Yeah, yeah.
against Toronto in the finals. He's
Yeah,
the one who
yeah.
basically carried them that game
Yeah.
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
steal that
Yeah,
win.
yeah.
For sure. But
And
I was gonna add on to Anuja's point. Like I agree. Like if Demarcus Cousins wants to be in the league for a few more years, I think it's best to come to a team where they rejuvenate careers. Right? Look at Kawhi. Before Kawhi was in San Antonio, he was like he was injured, yeah, and then I guess coming to Toronto, it rejuvenated his not just himself, but it rejuvenated like his brand, right? Like he went from like people saw him in a negative perspective prior to all that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Came to
before
Toronto, wanted
Yeah,
to
all that.
Masai took the gamble, no one else wanted to trade for him,
yeah,
and it paid off big. And the medical staff took care of him to the point where even when he was hobbling in the playoffs in the Milwaukee series, he pushed through. Even in the Philly series too, like he was able to push through and make it through the playoffs when we needed him the most. And to your point about Demarcus Cousins, last month he was averaging what 2 threes, 12 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, a block, and a steal.
yo,
Um,
gee,
but for the season though, I mean he got most of his minutes because Christian Wood was gone, right?
mhm.
But for the season, he's averaging 2 threes, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. And he can average those numbers for us, and that's solid, bro. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, bro, we just need him to grab boards, just make baskets, bro. You know what we should do if we get DeMarcus? We should start. We're starting him, and we should throw Baynes in the G League, bro, because that man needs to learn how to shoot.
it's a little tip.
Yeah, yeah, like he needs to be sent to the G League, honestly.
I think his confidence is kind of shooken with the way the
Yeah,
Raptors fans have been at him.
yeah, yeah.
Another thing, though, like, I think the key to DeMarcus is him losing weight because the thing when he left the Golden State Warriors to come to the Lakers when they signed him for the minimum, did you see how much weight
Yeah,
he lost before
yeah,
he
he
tore his
lost a lot of
ACL?
weight.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
And then towards ACL, then he was sitting on the bench and he gained
Hmm.
all his weight back. But like, if he could do that, I'm pretty sure he could resurrect his career and do.
Yeah, you can, 100% he can.
But if he wants to, I mean, if he's thinking about making some money, I think he needs to come to the Raptors and to show that he can still play at an elite level. And we have a gaping hole there, right? So this
Hmm.
is probably the best choice for him and
Yeah,
us. Just like the Houston Rockets kind of parted ways, I feel like this is a match made in heaven.
there you go.
But it could be something. I mean, a lot of people probably won't agree with us just because of the small ball lineup. But I mentioned this in the other video that you don't want to drain them out throughout the whole season.
Yeah,
And Pascal
yeah,
can't guard those big guys, so like you don't want to drain him out either. And
look
Boucher,
what happened when we play. Sorry, Ajit, don't cut you off. But look what happened when we play back to back, right? Like Freddie, Norman, they were all drained. Like they were like exhausted. They couldn't finish the game. Like we were missing baskets. The shots were not had no legs on it. You know what I mean? Like you can tell. Like imagine in playoffs though, it's gonna be much harder.
yeah. Playoffs, yo, like that's what I'm worried about. Because if we don't actually get a proper big, like if we don't sign Cousins or like someone else, like that's good,
Mhm.
we're gonna be struggling in the playoffs. Like we're not,
against
yeah,
teams,
against the bigs. Yeah, yeah,
like you're gonna see Joel Embiid rape thing today.
yeah,
Man.
yeah,
100%.
And so, final thoughts: yes, no, maybe so.
Let's
yeah,
do it.
100%. I'm all
Let's
in
do
for
it.
it.
All
Uh,
in.
all in. All
Yeah.
right. Well, we'll see. I mean, another thing is I think Houston's just parting ways with a lot of people. Like Victor Oladipo might be out next. Who knows?
Damn, that's huge.
Yeah, if he's out next, I mean, he's a free agent. I think next season, right? So who knows? We could probably steal him with the Giannis gone out of the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be our fit, or maybe I don't know. Norman Powell's is playing pretty elite right now, so it's kind of hard to talk about that position.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get more into that if anything happens, but appreciate you guys coming back onto the podcast to talk about the Demarcus Cousins situation, because you know that's a hot topic, and I honestly hope he does come to Toronto. Even if he doesn't fit, we can waive him. It's not a big deal. I mean, we don't really have anyone else.
Yo, bring him home. Bring him home.
Bring him home. Bring him home. And on that note, appreciate everyone for tuning into the podcast. Like and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, like my boy's pointing at right now. Yeah, they're both telling you what to do, so hit it up. If you enjoyed the video, keep tuning in, and we'll be back later on tonight for the late Raptors Talk post-game podcast. But till then, peace.